Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review where, excitingly, I'm looking at this. The Taylormade Stealth 2, brand new 2023 driver for Taylormade. Going to obviously have a closer look at the club as we always do. Then I'll talk through all the features, the technology about it, get down to the range, talk through some figures, and then obviously go through the ACS Golf Scale at the end. And also discuss, is it worth it? How much of an improvement actually is it over the Stealth from last year? If you haven't seen my review of that, guys, I will leave that in the comments below for you. And also we'll discuss, do I think there's better options out there in the second-hand market? Or, if you want to go down the new route, is it worth it? So yeah. So first things first, let's have a closer look at, let's be honest, this beauty. So there you go. Gorgeous club. Really do think, I think they've even improved the looks from last year. Straight off the bat, though, I'm not a fan of that glossy. You can see out my window at my house from my office. You know, I don't like it. For me, I hate looking down on the driver and then seeing my reflection looking back up. It's the same with when I had the Mizuno STZ I used to play with about a year ago. And the same there. I much prefer that matte look personally, but some people might really like it. I mean, all the new drivers this year have that gloss look over the top. I don't know about the Titleist, to be fair, but I know Paradigm do. Um, I know obviously Mizuno do. When it comes down to it, Cobra do as well. They brought it in, and obviously Stealth. So there you go. Now let's get into the technology side of this. Got it all up here, straight off the bat from Taylormade itself. Let's bring a laptop a little bit closer to me. So new 60 times carbon twist fade. So obviously this came in last year with the original Stealth. It was already fast, as they say. Now we've made it even more forgiving, building on the speed-producing success of the original 60 times carbon twist face. The new design features an enhanced version of inverted cone technology to help maintain ball speed on off-center strikes and increase forgiveness. Sounds perfect so far. It's exactly what we want. So they've also got more carbon than ever before. Compared to the original carbon wood, Stealth 2 features nearly twice the amount of carbon. It is constructed using new carbon reinforced composition ring. So it's down here, we have that sort of carbon ring around the bottom of it, and collectively utilizes more lightweight material than ever in any driver in Taylormade's history. Advanced application of carbon allows redistribution of mass for more forgiveness and stability. And that's the whole point of carbon in drivers, is the idea that, you can make this carbon, obviously the top here is carbon, the face is carbon as well, with the idea that they can then move weight to different areas of the club, such as the back, to increase that MOI and increase forgiveness. So a lot more carbon this year, which has been a trend through all the clubs. I mean, obviously, Aerojet, Paradigm is a whole carbon. The Callaway is a whole carbon sort of slot in there. So carbon, carbon, carbon. And that's what they've done there. So premium sound, this is a big thing that a lot of drivers have been picking up as well this year. It's the sound of them. Really been trying, because obviously, personally for me, if I hit a club, I'm not necessarily thinking about much of sound, but I know a lot of people who really would be put off if they don't like the sound of that club. So premium sound are teams of engineers obsessed over creating the perfect sound with Stealth 2, even factoring carbon sole thickness into the equation. In addition, we've used a combination of curvature, shape, and internal stiffening ribs to finely tune acoustics, delivering a sound profile that is both bright and powerful. There you go. Can't complain with that. I mean, a lot of you out there would like a good driver noise. I mean, I remember hitting the going a bit off piece, but the old Cleveland launcher, was it HB or something like that, from about 2017, and that thing just sounded like just an explosion every time you hit it. Personally, I actually love that. So, but a bit more duller this sound, but it is a nice sound. I mean, personally, like I said, I don't really care much about sound, but And if you're looking at this club, it is a nice sound. So higher, keeping on going, higher MOI optimal launch. So the Reconstruction Stealth 2 driver delivers high MOI than Stealth with a heavy 25-gram tungsten weight position at the inertia generator, added forgiveness. There you go, there it is. The TPS front weight is strategically located on the sole, this one here, to encourage optimal launch and spin properties, delivering complete performance and maximum forgiveness. So there's all the technology there. And one thing I'm going to say straight off the bat, which I think a lot of people would have noticed, is that's very much got the idea of the Taylormade sim. And that's got very much the idea of the Taylormade sim too. They sort of progressed it in the same way as they did with the sim lineup, which is a bit interesting, to be honest. I don't know why they couldn't have brought the sim technology straight into this one rather than sort of waiting for the second generation, you know, as you're always supposed to improve, and why have they suddenly gone back? But anyway, there you go. So there's all technology in the club. Now let's get down to a range. I'm going to talk some figures with you guys, and then we'll go through the ACS golf scale and we'll discuss it a little bit more afterwards. Okay, let's get down to that range. So just to mention before we actually get to the range, so this is just a standard Stealth 2 model, sort of in the middle, but there's actually another two options. You have the Stealth Plus, where you have removable weight here at the front, which is a low spinning machine pretty much, and then you have the Stealth 2 HD, which is the high draw. You know, the idea is that's the most forgiving model to help you get the ball in the air, and obviously, yeah, most give you the most forgiveness. So there you go. Now let's get to the range and then discuss the club afterwards on the ACS Golf Scale. So let's jump straight into the figures then. So on average, I had 226 yards of carry, 255 yards total distance, 148 miles per hour ball speed, 8 degrees launch and 48 feet high. 8 degrees there's a bit low, to be honest. I did struggle to get this club in the air. Normally, really, you want double figures for that, which really does include the increase of distance, but on average cannot complain. 255 total distance. Really, I want between that 250 260 mark, so really happy with that. Had a few shots which were over the 260 total distances, quite a few ball speeds as well, over 150. The fastest on the day was 154 miles an hour. Really happy with that. So 148 on average, around that 150 mark. Really generally happy with the performance of this club. And when it came down to this compared to the Stealth, literally had about 10 yards in total distance more than the Stealth that I tested 3 weeks ago. So really feel like this club's a big jump up in improvement from the previous model, and just very happy with it. And well, let's get back to the studio and discuss it more. So there you go. Relatively really happy with it, to be honest. I mean, the launch wasn't great. It was 8, really. I want launch about over 10, really 11, 12, really to be optimized. The distance for me, I do tend to hit, well, you see my dodgy swing, I tend to hit down on the ball quite a bit, so I do struggle to get it in the air. But that's nothing necessarily to do with the head. It's very much to do with the stiff shaft I've got in there, where the tip's obviously a little bit more stiff than I like. For example, my Cobra that I normally have in the bag, the tips are actually very flexible, so it really helps to launch the ball in the air. But this is a 12-degree head, so I can increase this. Well, obviously, get 12 degrees. I tested it at 10 degrees, but I can increase it up to 12. And that's one great thing, again, about these Taylormades. You know, you can increase the loft here by 2 degrees. So I could take this all the way up to 14, or I could lower it down all the way to 10, which I normally do. That's normally my go-to, around that 10 or 10.5. The only thing I will say is by doing that, it does change basically the loft of the face. So by changing it, by decreasing the loft, the face actually opens up a little bit. By increasing the loft, it closes it and makes it more dual bias. So also something to look out for, you guys, if you're testing a Taylormade club and you're slicing it or you're drawing it too much, you can adjust it. It will change the loft as well, but you can adjust it to open that club face up a little bit more or close it, which majority of modern drivers do have that option now, which is great. It really does help. It means you can really dial it in for your swing, which is fantastic. So Yeah, so as I was mentioning, 8 degrees, not great, but distance wise, so for me with the Cobra, I'm sort of looking 150 miles per hour ball speed. I'm looking between 250 and 260 total distance yardage, and pretty much on the money with this, to be honest. 148 miles per hour ball speed, so just two down low off that 150, and 255 on average, as I mentioned before, total yards. So right smack in the middle of it. You know, had a few shots, 154 miles per hour, 153 miles per hour. You know, really happy with it. You know, longest on the day was 267 total yards. I've taken this out on the course as well, and I've hit it over 270 as well because I, did track that as well. So distance wise, I'm really happy with it. So talking about that, let's get on the ACS golf scale. So for the Stealth 2 driver, straight away, let's go into distance. Remember, it's out of five being the best, one being the worst. And I'm giving this a very, very, very solid 4. I'm not going to give it a 5 because it's not their longest distance model. The longest distance model is obviously the Plus, where you have the movable weight in the front, the low spinning beats. But it is very, very good distance wise. Really happy with it. If you're looking for a sort of your average sort of driver, you don't want the low spinning model. You maybe want a bit more spin, a bit more forgiveness, etc. Then you won't be disappointed with this when it comes down to distance. Very, very good distance for what it is. Very happy with that. Moving on to feel. Feel. So the original Stealth, I gave the feel 2. For this, I think they have improved it, so I will give it a 3, but I'm still not a massive fan of the carbon face. I can tell I've done a bad shot, but again, I struggle to know where that bad shot is. Unless it's off the bottom, I know I've hit it off the bottom, but around the rest of the face, it's quite difficult to tell. I'm not a huge fan of the feel of it. I do prefer the sort of titanium face drivers at the moment anyway. They keep on progressing the way they are. That could change. So feel 3, not the end of the world, but again, I've definitely felt better drivers out there. Now, looks. I think personally, overall, especially with this, we have that sort of red rim on the back. You can see there, really like it. Personally, overall, I think the looks have improved over the Stealth. I do, which I gave this a 5, by the way. So top marks, but it's just that. Look at it, the reflection there. I don't like that. It really puts me off. So it's 4.5 out of 5. Very good looking club. I just wish you could get that matte. If I get that matte, it'd be 5 out of 5 every day of the week. Price. Obviously, this is a new car for 2023, so the price ratings are obviously not going to be great. With the idea pricing the way I do it is really if I'm finding a really good deal for you guys. So price 2 out of 5. It is what it is. It's a new driver. I mean, if you're looking to buy it brand new at the moment, you're looking around that 499 mark. The Plus model is a little bit more. Same in America, so US dollars, it's around just under that $600 mark, and a little bit more again for the Plus model. So expensive, very much with all the other clubs, really, unless you're looking at the Aerojet, which is a little bit cheaper. So 2 out of 5 there. Second-hand market again, you're looking over £300 in the UK to pick this up. You're looking well over £300 really. Again, you're looking over $375. It's not that cheap. Yeah, well, the Cobra Aerojet, for example, you're looking probably under £300. So I know that $375 mark, and the Aerojet is their new model for this year. So price 2 out of 5, you know, is what it is. To be honest, is what it is. So forgiveness. Now this is a big talking point because this is what they've been saying about the drivers. Forgiveness, forgiveness. Distance with forgiveness. The Stealth last year was great, but wasn't that forgiving. This is distance forgiveness. And for me, I think they've nailed it. I think the forgiveness is a lot higher. I've given it 4 out of 5. To be honest, I'm giving it 5 out of 5 because it's not their most forgiving model. But I think they really have sorted out that issue last year with the Stealth for forgiveness. I mean, I gave the Stealth driver, still not bad. I think I gave 3.5. But compared to this, if I was then competing against each other, this would be through the roof compared to that. I'm not going to lie. So they definitely have improved the forgiveness. I mean, lowest ball speed I got, if I just have a look, it was 143 miles an hour. 238 distance, right? Not great, but that's really not a bad drop. I'd take that, and I think that was right off the bottom. That was not a good hit, so I definitely would take that. 4 out of 5 forgiveness. I really do like it. Is it going to be forgiving as a ping? Probably not. But then pings, you look at pings because they're the most forgiving clubs out there. But for me and what it is with that distance, I'm giving it 4 out of 5. So there you go. Really great across the board, to be honest. Really think it's a good club. So let's go in the fact, do I think it's worth you guys picking up? If you want to go and get fitted and you want to try a new club, you want to try a 2023 club, you don't mind spending the money for it, I definitely think you need to be looking at the Stealth 2. I mean, obviously, I'm a massive fan of Cobra, so I think you need to try the Aerojet. And obviously do try the orange and the Ping G340s, but I think it's a great option. So I would suggest to have a look at it because I'm very impressed with this driver. The Stealth, I wasn't hugely impressed with. I think it did what it did, but with this, very much so. Now, second hand, though, if you're looking to buy it second hand, the price drops next year, great. If you're looking right now and you want to go down the Taylormade route, I wouldn't go for the Stealth personally if you wanted something on par with this. But I mean, let's be honest, this is a Sim 2. I mean, I'm sorry, but I know it's got a little bit more carbon in it. It's got a carbon face, but it's pretty much a Sim 2. The weight's in the same place, the back weight. And so if you wanted to get a Taylormade and you wanted sort of this sort of level, I'd go for the Sim 2. Great club, one of the best out there. To be fair, with Taylormade, you can go really old. I mean, the M2s that came out in 2016, I remember speaking to somebody at the range who, really knew his clubs and supposedly knew someone at Taylormade, so don't hold me to this. And he said the jump from the M2 all the way up to now, this was last year, so it says minuscule. You can't really notice. I've known people who've got the M2 in the bag. It's a great driver. Justin Rose keeps on putting the M2 back in the bag. It's a great driver. So the jump up in technology isn't great. So because because the conformities, you can't improve what is already there. You can't make it bigger with more CC. I mean, this is 460. That's the biggest you can get. You can't make it any larger. So if you're looking at the second-hand market, I really do think you can go older Taylormade and have pretty much similar results. And I definitely think the Sim 2 would be right up here with this. If you wanted to go for different clubs, maybe newer, Cobra LTDX, I love that thing. For me, it's great. And I think it's very much on par with this, to be honest. I really do love the LTDX. So yes, so there you go. But overall, I will say it, lovely club. Had great fun with it. Really enjoyed it. In a massive issue at the moment, do I want to put this in the bag over the LTDX? Because I think it looks great. I think it looks better than the LTDX that I'm currently using. The only downside for me, possibly what might keep this out of my bag, is just the tip on this shaft. Stiff shaft, absolutely fine. It's just that tip for me. I just can't get the distance I want. In summer, absolutely fine because it rolls, but I just can't get the launch that I necessarily want. But extremely happy with the driver. Great driver, guys. Do check it out if you want to go down the new route. So there you go. Oh, and before I go as well, before I get onto that, one thing I think that really impressed me as well is the upgrade of the head cover. I mean, Stealth, this one isn't that bad, but like the conditions of the new one, I mean, it just feels softer inside. The material on the outside just feels better. That for a head cover is top notch. Really brilliant. And I nearly forgot that. I actually love that. I think that's great, to be honest. Really good head cover. So well done, Taylormade, for that as well. Okay, guys, there you go. Now I'm done. So if you like this video, do subscribe to the channel because, guys, we have weekly reviews released every Sunday. The more subscribers we get, the more, hopefully, videos I'll be able to give you and, hopefully even more exciting stuff as well. So do remember to subscribe. It means a lot to me. If you're enjoying this, do give it a like. And also tell me, have you tried the Stealth 2 this year? What do you think of it? I'd be really interested to hear your guys' thoughts. Okay? Well, there you go. and I'll see you guys next week. Enjoy, if you're in the UK, enjoy this 28 degrees weather we're having at the moment. If you're watching this in the UK in September, odds on it'll be raining. Anyway, see you guys soon. Bye bye.